Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go, just jumping back into things, still using the brand new team, not so new at this point, that we featured for quite a while now, but yeah, probably will be changing teams pretty soon. I'm heading back out to California in a few days, so yeah, just trying to get a couple more episodes in before I do leave, but yeah, hopefully you guys have been enjoying the team. It's been a lot of fun to use, and definitely very different from anything we've tried out, as I mentioned before, but really dynamic team, and I'll be posting the EVs and spreads and everything to the team coming up pretty soon, so you guys can stay tuned for that. That will be up. Hopefully, you know, I don't know when I'm switching teams yet. I still need to get a team in game and build one, but as soon as I can do that, hopefully within the next week, then yeah, we'll be switching pretty soon. But yeah, it's been a blast. I think if you every episode with this team feels like it's been super fun. Definitely, you know, just different kinds of play styles, different teams that we've run into, and as a result, it's been a blast. And if you guys haven't seen like the last couple of episodes, I really just highly recommend them because they're really cool. So we're gonna find Chris from Australia with a rating of 1700, with 4 of the 6 same. Porygon 2, Arcanine, Muck, Araquanid, Tapu Fini, and the Kartana. So yeah, I think the thing that definitely sticks out here is the Araquanid. I really probably should have Freeze Dry on Ninetales, but it's a little bit difficult to get, so I've been running Icy Wind, because Icy Wind, I think it learns, like Freeze Dry, you just have to go through a lot of breeding for. So, with the Araquanid on the back, I'm really worried about that. I feel the need to bring Porygon just because Tri-Attack does like a considerable amount of damage, and you can recover everything as well. For leading, I think I'm going to go with Muck here immediately. Guard Jump in the back is tempting because you can nuke the Muck and the Arcanine, but it's very rare you actually are in a position to do that. Fini would be kind of nice. And Arcanine for Intimidate would be nice. But I think having a way to potentially nuke Muck or Arcanine in the back with Guard Chomp is still pretty good. So I'm not going to bring Arcanine. Ninetales is okay here. Can Aurora Veil, but it can't do too much other than that. I don't think he'll want to bring Kartana, and if he does, I have Fire Fang on Chomp and Ice Beam on Porygon, and I can knock off with Muck as well. And, like, I can see this game boiling down to if I need to bring my Fini and Calm Mining against his. I think one thing of bringing Arcanine would be nice here is you can Intimidate, but it doesn't do too much bar intimidating Kartana. One of the other things is you can switch into a Kartana, which would be nice, and just intimidate it and flamethrower pressure it immediately. But yeah, there's kind of a lot going on here, and having Porygon 2 on both sides scary. I think I probably don't want to set up Trick Room in this game, especially with Guard Chomp in the back. That's one of the differences, obviously, of our teams. So he goes with Fini and Muck. Okay. As I go with my Porygon 2 and Muck. So this isn't the greatest, but it's also not the worst. Obviously, I threaten his Fini with my Muck. The concern is that Muck most likely can go for a knockoff. This would be a pretty decent time to switch into Guard Chomp. But he could just double up onto Porygon with a Moonblast as well. And a knockoff. Do I want to risk switching into Guard Chomp? I don't think so. As a result, I think I'm going to double up onto Fini because he hasn't revealed his Porygon yet, so I don't have to worry as much about Trick Room going up this game. So if I were my opponent, I would Moonblast and knock off Porygon to cover Guard Chomp switch, and losing Guard Chomp turn 1 would be really bad if I can't eliminate Muck. So let's see. He could switch out, but unlike me, like he just Muddy Waters, okay. So he doesn't Moonblast. I think that's going to be Specs Fini then if he's going straight for Muddy Water. Let's see how much it does. I'm not too sure about that, actually. My Muck's faster than his as well, which is good to confirm. Poison Jab does a hefty amount. He's going to go for knockoff onto Porygon. Yeah, so I could have switched in Guard Chomp there. But that's fine, as I'm going to get a Tri-Attack off here. It's not going to knock him out, unfortunately. Oh, comes really close, actually, with that critical hit. Makes me wonder if he's in KO range from a Shadow Sneak. Safer play here is to Protect, though. And just sack Porygon. Yeah, I'm gonna sack Porygon here. Would Shadow Sneak knock Fini out? I don't think so. It could though, it'd be so close. He's just gonna Muddy Water again. So I could switch into my Fini. I don't really want to do that. So yeah, I'm just gonna try attack here and I'll protect Muck. So I get the free switch into Chomp. Muck protects his Fini. Muddy Waters again. Yep. think it's gotta be Specs, honestly. I probably should have targeted Feeny with Porygon. Whoa, Brick Break. You don't see that every day on a Muck. Okay. That's fine though. That's what I wanted basically. So now I get the free switch into my Garchomp. Now the question is really, what does his Muck do? Because I expect it to protect. So expecting protect, what I can do here is jab into Feeny and knock off. It's a pretty safe play here because his Muck doesn't threaten my Garchomp at all. He'll probably want to protect or switch out. So by jabbing, I knock out Feeny. If he switches out, then I'll get rid of whatever's coming in's item. That's a big deal as well. My Muck still has its Figgy. So Feeny switches out, that's fine. Into Porygon. Great. So I'm going to get rid of the Eviolite here instantly. Let's see if Muck protects. No, he actually doesn't protect. Okay. Maybe going for a knockoff onto my Muck, which would actually be kind of a nuisance. But I'll get rid of Porygon 2's item here, which is nice. Yeah. So he does just go for a knockoff onto my Muck, getting rid of my Figgy Berry, unfortunately. But I think I'll take that trade-off still. Given how much the damage output there was. I feel like double Poison Jab should knock out his Porygon. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I don't really care about Muck right now. It doesn't threaten my Muck or Garchomp offensively at all. Maybe I should have Z-moved there, but the thing is I kind of need the Z-move to nuke the Muck, which I think is probably going to want to protect here. You could switch out. Yep, Muck switches out. Araquanid? There it is. Okay, that's fine. So hopefully I can knock Porygon 2 out here, because that would deny the Trick Room, which I really need right now. That should knock it out, yeah, without Eviolite. Let's see. He hangs on with 1 HP. That's unfortunate. Wow, that's unlucky. Okay. That's bad. I'm going to... Protect on Chomp is obvious, so maybe I want to make a big play here. I think I'm going to switch up to Feeny here, and... Protect Muck, yeah. Wow, that's literally got to be 1 HP. If I get that knockdown, I'm in such an advantageous position. So Muck protects. Yeah, Liquidation into protect at least. Probably recover. Oh, no, there's Ice Beam coming out. Okay, I'll take that at least. But yeah, it really would have been nice to Z-move the Porygon just to ensure the knockout, I guess. Okay. So now the question is, does he Z Liquidation? Because if he does, he has to give up. I need to stall out Trick Room right now. So I actually don't want to knock out Porygon, so I'm going to Moonblast Araquanid. He could just Liquidation and Ice Beam into Muck, which I think he should do. And I need Chomp more. I think I gotta maybe go for a double here. Oh, he can actually pull it off. Okay. So he's gonna Liquidation into the Protect. I think we'll see an Ice Beam into that slot too. Or he Ice Beams, or recovers, excuse me. That's fine. Let's see, who does he have in the back? Feeny and Muck. Moonblast actually does a hefty amount, wow. Yeah, so I think I sack Muck here. I'm gonna Calm Mind, and... because this is the third turn of Trick Room. Yeah, that double Protect was definitely a little bit fortunate, but... Calm Mind, and I'm gonna go for a... yeah, just get some additional damage off of Shadow Sneak onto Araquanid, because I need Chomp right now. Chomp plus Feeny wins me again, the matchup against my opponent's team. Leech Life, whoa. Should have knocked me out, right? No, it actually doesn't. But that's fine. And you try attack into Feeny. That's an interesting turn. Super interesting, actually, yeah. Because that means, yeah, Muck actually survives. But we've already seen Ice Beam as well, right? So Feeny recovers here. We haven't seen a Z move either come out. So I'm just going to Moonblast the Porygon slot and protect here, yeah. He could double up in a Feeny, but should be able to survive that anyway. And actually, I should have attacked with Muck here, I think. Muck protects. There's a Z move. Is that going to Feeny? Maybe I should have just double protected. I know I can survive a Z liquidation though. So there's a high. He could have targeted Muck just to guarantee a knockout. But I think it's going to Feeny, yeah. Should be fine. I definitely survived that. Yeah. Not by too much though. Good double up. But I managed to survive with 4 HP. Yeah, so that was pretty close, but I figured I should have been able to survive any combination of attacks there. So Moonblast actually, that's really nice, because now what I can do is simply Muddy Water and Jab. Though it could miss Muddy Water. But I've stalled out Trick Room, which was what I needed to do here. Maybe a safer play is just Moonblasting Araquanid and Poison Jabbing Porygon, honestly. Yeah, I'd rather do that. Knockoff on a Porygon could have been better because it covers a Muck switch in. Could have doubled into Araquanid, could have Muddy Watered as well, but if I miss and Porygon sets up Trick Room, then that would be really bad again. So that double protect earlier was super, super helpful. I don't know why my opponent didn't want to knock out the Muck. He's not going to switch out with either, which is good. So this Moonblast will do a hefty amount to Araquanid. Yeah, and Jab should knock out Porygon. So we'll trade knockouts here. He'll be able to knock out one of my two, but then I have Garchomp with the Z move, and that pretty much pressures everything my opponent has. And he can only knock out one of my two. He actually keeps Feeny around, which is fine by me, because Feeny's Moonblast is a huge threat right now. And I've got Z move on Chomp, so I think I've got this locked up. Because what happens here is Garchomp comes in, I just Z move whatever. Well, if Feeny comes in, then I can just Poison Jab that slot. But with the Z move, yeah, I think maybe I should have just double protected, but I was afraid of Porygon recovering, because I needed to deny Trick Room. If it recovers, then a combination of attacks could still not knock it out, because it's super bulky. Yeah, so Muck comes in, and now I get to make a super safe play of just going for Moonblast into Araquanid and Z-moving Muck. Now, Muck could protect here, but the thing is, he can't win against Garchomp with a Muck, and Garchomp could just Earthquake twice safely and knock it out, even with a Figi Berry. He could have priority with Muck, though. But he goes for Wide Guard. Okay, that's game. So trying to prevent a Earthquake, but I just have Tectonic Rage, so Muck will go down instantly. It's exactly why I brought Chomp in this matchup, because otherwise Muck is a little bit difficult to deal with, and as a result, it pays off. I don't know. Like, the double protect definitely was super helpful. I'm not sure if it was 100% necessary, because my opponent ended up, like, expecting to knock out my Muck and wasn't double targeting it correctly, so as a result, I was still able to pick up the knockout. Just kind of weird, honestly. Definitely made some mistakes in this game. Maybe I should have just prioritized knocking out Porygon with the Z move, but I really thought the double Poison Jump would knock it out after knocking off its EV line. It hung on with, like, 1 HP. But Feeny, in return, was also able to be pretty clutch on Hang-On, so that's just the knockout on both, which is nice. And whatever's coming in now is just going to get knocked out as well. Obviously, it's got to be that Tapu Fini. But yeah, it was close. You know, my Fini was able to hang on with 3 HP, which is pretty much the margin his Porygon 2 was able to hang on with. And yeah, double protects, like, you should never rely on it. And so my main goal of this game really should have been to prevent Trick Room in the first place from happening. But I had to obviously improvise. I was in a pretty bad position, given the position I was in, and had to make do with what I had. So Fini comes back in, now I just make the safe play, just Moonblast, and I think Jab is 100% accurate, right? Yeah. It's Fire Fang that can actually miss. Fire Fang is weird because there's so much RNG that can happen with it, even though it's not very likely. You can miss with it, you can flinch with it, you can burn with it. Obviously, critical hit with it as well. So Jab just knocks out the Fini, and that picks up a win. That was definitely a pretty intense game there. One that I felt like I, had a good position in, because if I do pick up that knockout onto Porygon and deny Trick Room, then I'm in a super solid position, but I didn't get that. But then as Araquanid was, like, not prioritizing getting one-hit KOs, I think, like, he maybe should have just dedicated Z-moving, because the way you win with Araquanid and Porygon 2 under Trick Room is you put on a lot of pressure, because Araquanid does so much damage. So I was able to get Fini in and waste that first turn of Trick Room, the second turn, I obviously got lucky with that double protect, which, you know, obviously my opponent wasn't anticipating. And then after that, once I got that double off, I knew I could have been in a much better position because it would guarantee Garchomp and Feeney out for the late game. So by getting that, I already felt like I had brought things back considerably. But once again, the question is, you know, maybe I should have just Z-moved into the Porygon too. And I could have Z-moved into the Muck earlier as well, when he brought that in. So next opponent rocking a team of Ninetales, Muck, Arcanine, Tapu Fini, so 4 of the 6 same, but with Mimikyu and with the Kartana. So yeah, these teams are really just popping up around everywhere, and it's super tricky always. Let's see. You never can lead Garchomp safely here when your opponent has Ninetales, which is super frustrating. For example, Ninetales Muck is a very ugly lead, and it would be great to burn with Arcanine here with the Will-O-Wisp. Not sure I'd be able to pull that off, though. So I could go with, like, my own Arcanine Muck, as he very easily could go with as well. He's probably concerned about the Porygon. The goal really should be to eliminate Ninetales, which I think my opponent will bring, because if I eliminate Ninetales, then Garchomp wins against, for example, hit super effective against 4 of my opponent's 6. So I think I'm actually going to lead Muck, hoping to bait in the Ninetales. Maybe I'll go with my own Ninetales. I think I like Arcanine Muck a little bit more here, though, for Intimidate, and I could potentially Will-O-Wisp, because the goal is to eliminate Ninetales. I'm going to want Chomp in the back, and I think Fini as the last one is appropriate. Yeah. Porygon you can make a case for here. I'm bringing Fini because I can anticipate positions where I can potentially Calm Mind for free. For example, if my opponent has a combination of Ninetales, Mimikyu, Arcanine, or his Fini out, then my Fini could be potentially in a position where it can Calm Mind relatively for free. Obviously, it has to avoid Kartana. That's kind of the main issue, and Muck. Question is whether my opponent wants to bring Kartana here. Now, one thing I can deduce is that Kartana is probably Assault Vested because he does not have... I mean, he has Hail on his team, and so that means that most likely Ninetales is going to have the Sash, Kartana is going to have the AV. So he brings in Ninetales and Mimikyu, which I think I'm happy to see here. Because, like I said, the goal is to knock out Ninetales. He does threaten Trick Room here, but I get the Intimidate against Mimikyu. So I would say this is definitely an optimal lead. Question is whether he protects here or not. Because I can Snarl. You could have the Z move with Mimikyu, that's really not a concern at all. I can knock off. Or Poison Jab. I think I will Snarl here to break Mimikyu's sub. Is there anything you can really switch into? I would think maybe you'd want to switch into your Arcanine or your Fini. But I think Poison Jabbing Mimikyu and Snarling here is pretty safe, because I anticipate Ninetales protecting. If he doesn't protect, then I can just break his Sash. And he just goes for an Aurora Veil. Okay, that's fine, though. Because he's still forced to stay in or switch out. And I actually don't want to knock out Ninetales instantly. RNG's definitely been on our side here. I didn't consider Will-O-Wisp coming out from Mimikyu. He actually does go for that, so he could have burned Muck instantly. So I probably would like to switch into Fini next turn, and I was kind of considering like the heavy offensive Mimikyus that we've seen. You know, Gavin Michaels was running that on his team with like max special attack or max attack and the Z move. So yeah, Poison Jab doesn't even do that much. But this is actually a pretty opportune time to bring in my Tapu Fini. Super, yeah, that was a lucky avoid. I mean, well, I'm not sure if it matters, but that's like stuff that can just really frustrate your opponent right from the beginning. So I will go for the jab on Ninetales because I don't think it would knock it out anyway, and I'm going to switch out into Tapu Fini right now. Which will get the Aurora Veil up, which means Mimikyu can't do much against Muck or really do anything at all. But it was careless of me not to kind of assume Will-O-Wisp turn 1. I think that's something that actually should be used more, Will-O-Wisp Mimikyu, because we've seen a lot of Mimikyus run around. Obviously, Gavin won regionals with it, but his was a very offensive one with the Shadow Z moves, specifically to counter Lele. But obviously, on my opponent's team comp, you can use something that's a little bit more bulkier. Actually, knockoff would have been better, would have done more damage there. So Ninetales actually swaps out into my opponent's Fini. That's going to be taking a Poison Jab for free. So I'm fine with that. Sure, he has an Aurora Veil up, but getting a Poison Jab against Fini is always good because damage output is pretty difficult against it. So any like attack that does, so for example, 35+% is good. Question is, what is Mimikyu really? Oh wow, that's cool. Swords Dance Mimikyu. So, begs the question whether he is the Z move. I should have knocked off turn 1. It does more damage if you do have the item, but I thought maybe he would have been Z move. Jab still does around 50 or almost 50% to Feeny, and he'll take hail damage, so overall positive turn. But wasn't anticipating Swords Dance. That's really cool. So we've seen Swords Dance, and wow, he's got to have play rough. Let's see. I actually didn't catch whose Feeny took hail damage first there, which is kind of bad. I could just double protect here, but I'm worried about Mimikyu getting another Swords Dance up. And Feeny getting a Calm Mind. So I'm going to just Poison Jab Feeny and Moonblast Mimikyu. Because if he does go for another Swords Dance, then he'll be in Shadow Sneak KO range after Hail and Moonblast. If he doesn't, then it's whatever. He'll get a +1 play rough off. And Mimikyu's attack stat's not very good. Yeah, so he does just play rough here into Muck. It actually does a very considerable amount of damage, but it procs a Figi Berry, so I'll heal back nearly all the way up to full. And I'm faster with Feeny. Okay, good. So that Moonblast should put him in Shadow Sneak KO range at this point. He's just going to Muddy Water. Indicating, I would think he's maybe Specs, but we'll see how much this does. Can't really tell that damage output, honestly. Gets the accuracy drop on Feeny, but fortunately not on Muck, so Jab here will just knock him out. Or sorry, not knock him out, but yeah, he'll take a ton. So now Mimikyu is in Shadow Sneak KO range. He could have Shadow Sneak on his Mimikyu. So, one of the questions. But with Arcanine in the back, I definitely feel kind of comfortable right now. I feel really careless for not considering Will-O-Wisp turn 1. And I brought Feeny specifically. One reason to bring Feeny is so you have the terrain to avoid getting burned. So I'm going to sneak here and just Moonblast. Actually, yeah. So I want to knock him out now because Hail's expiring next turn. So if I can knock him out now, then he's forced, for example, if I do get the double knockout, he's forced to bring Ninetales in, and then Hail will expire, which is really good because he, 1, can't set up an Aurora Veil, and 2, can't use Blizzard freely without risking missing. He could switch out here, but then he would take a Moonblast and a Shadow Sneak. I mean, not that that does too much damage, so switching might be a good play here. He actually does withdraw Feeny. Kartana? Nope, Ninetales. But Shadow Sneak should just eliminate, yeah, the Mimikyu. With an Aurora, even with Aurora Veil up, yeah, I think I should be able to pick up the knockout. Super effective, does knock it out. Free Moonblast here, hopefully no miss. Okay, nice. And a special attack drop. You've definitely gotten some fortunate RNG in this one. And I'm not very pleased about that because the RNG was a little bit more significant than I would have liked. Like, this game would have been a lot harder if he just hit the Will-O-Wisp turn 1. But, hey man, I've been there before. It's not the easiest attack to hit. Let's see what comes in. If he brings in Feeny, like, okay, it's going to be Kartana. So that's nice because I know I've got the the Arcanine in the back. So my goal now should really just to be to eliminate Ninetales. But Kartana, like I said, I assume is going to be Assault Vested here. But I don't mind a switching right now into Arcanine, yeah. I'm going to just switch into Arcanine and go for a... He's probably going to double up on Muck. Which is why I want to switch into Arcanine, right? I'll go for the Moonblast onto Ninetales because I don't really mind if he knocks out Feeny because that's a free switching into Chomp. Actually, I should have protected there, I think. But let's see. Arcanine is a really good Pokemon to have against Kartana and Ninetales right now. Especially if he's AV Kartana and Specs Feeny, which I think he is. So he's just going for Blizzard. The nice thing is he can't freeze me because of terrain, so it doesn't even do too much damage. And there's the Sacred Sword, which is good. So part of the reason why I didn't protect my Feeny there. So I get a free Moonblast off against his Ninetales here. The other good thing is Hail's expiring here and Aurora Veil is expiring. And unfortunately Ninetales takes another special attack drop. So just a lot going in my favor now. And I think all I have to do here is safely Flamethrower into Kartana and Moonblast into Ninetales. Is Aurora Veil still up? Oh, so he's actually got the Light Clay to extend that. That's pretty cool. Super solid item choice. Because Ninetales normally attacks first anyway, so on a bulkier team like this, you don't really need to worry too much about it. So Flamethrower maybe won't knock out Cortana, but his Ninetales is kind of forced to switch out right now. He could go for the crit, but Ninetales won't do anything against Arcanine. He also could switch Cortana out into Feeny and maybe hope for a miss, but that doesn't really help his case too much. Ooh. Looks like that's a Bloom Doom coming out. But that's fine. That'll knock out my Feeny. But then I'll just get the Flamethrower off against Cortana. Although with the Aurora Veil up, and if he's Assault Vested, maybe he'll survive that. So I did not expect to see the Bloom Doom coming out. Oh wait, but he can't be Assault Vested. What am I saying? Because he's got the Z move. So unless Ninetales has a way to stop my Arcanine or has a way to knock it out right now, that's just a knockout onto Cortana. And he's just going for Blizzard, and because of Misty Terrain, which is super nice, I don't have to worry about Freeze. So if Flamethrower comes down, that's just a knockout onto Cortana. Or should be. Nice. Okay, good. Mist disappears. So, I'm gonna bring Muck in right now. Yeah. So it's not necessarily over yet, which is the scary part. Kind of comes down to how fast Feeny is, I think, actually. He shouldn't be faster than Arcanine, but he could be. That would be bad, actually. Should I have brought in Chomp? I mean, he's still have to hit a Blind Blizzard. And Ninetales isn't doing any damage output right now. Yeah, I'm doubling into Feeny. Oh, Auroraville is up. Never mind, I forgot about that. That's bad. I think Flamethrower plus Shadow Sneak still probably knocks him out, though. Okay, I'm going for it. Oh, my opponent forfeits. Huh. I don't think he should have forfeited there. I think there definitely was a chance of winning, especially if Feeny was faster. But if he knew Feeny wasn't going to be faster than Arcanine, then I suppose that is the reason too. But the reason there you shouldn't forfeit is, and the reason why I didn't target down Ninetales is if I knock out Feeny there, then I just win. Sure, I have Garchomp in the back. But the worry is if Feeny is faster, then if he hits Muddy Water, if he double hits Muddy Water, then I lose the game. But that's why I went for Shadow Sneak and Flamethrower, knowing I'm trying to think if that was the correct play. Yeah, because with Terrain up, I don't think well, one, Shadow Sneak definitely does not knock him out, and Flamethrower does very minimal damage, but the combination of those two should knock him out, even if he's super bulky, because he had literally like 15 HP or so. So the combination of that picks up the knockout and then seals up the win. But if Feeny's faster, then he just gets a Muddy Water off, and that knocks out both of my Pokemon most likely. And then Ninetales, if it's able to, for example, if he has, depending on what ice type attack he has. So if he has Icy Wind, he doesn't pick up the one-hit knockout. Garchomp can just Earthquake. He can go for the 70% chance Blizzard to just, go for the win. And if he has Freeze Dry, that's also a one-hit knockout. So it was a little bit scary there, but my opponent ends up not playing it out. I think that was a game that definitely could have been won by my opponent and should have at least played it one more turn to see if Feeny could outspeed Arcanine. But once again, maybe my opponent knew he had no investment on Feeny. If that's the case, then that makes a little bit more sense. So kind of anticlimactic there, but we do end up winning both games here, which is nice. And yeah, definitely not the best played games. I think both games were kind of dirty in terms of RNG and could have been a lot better plays from my end, but it is what it is. And yeah, try to play better in the next one. So that's pretty much going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, leave a like if you did, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace.